There are things in some homes that are not decorations. They are not to be touched, not even by mistake. But there was a girl who didn't listen. Her name was Adunni. Adunni was not stubborn. She was not a bad girl. But she was worse. She was so curious. She needed to know everything. As a child, she never accepted silence. If you told her, leave it, she would come back later. Not to disobey, but to understand. Why is it locked? What is inside? Who put it there? She asked questions over questions, like questions never left her alone. When she was 10, her grandmother told her not to open a small calabash in the kitchen. She said it was not for children. But that night, Adunni waited until everyone slept. She opened it. Nothing happened. Just dry leaves inside. But the next morning, her grandmother didn't ask. She didn't shout. She only said, some things don't react immediately. Another time, she followed a group of elders into the forest. Quietly, barefooted, she hid behind a tree, watching them perform something she didn't understand. Something they never spoke about again. When she got home, her grandmother was waiting, not angry, just disappointed. You don't always have to know everything. You don't always have to see everything, she said. But Adunni didn't agree. Because to her, not knowing felt worse than danger. She read meanings into everything, shadows, whispers, closed doors. If something was hidden, it called her. Not loudly, but enough. She now lived with that same grandmother in a quiet compound at the edge of the town. The old woman had rules. Don't enter my room. Don't open my wooden box. And whatever you do, do not touch what sits beside my bed. But Adunni was too curious. She would peep behind the doors just to see what the warnings is about. And there it was, the object. It was a small, dark object, round like carved wood, but it didn't feel like wood. It felt warm, like something that had been held for too long. Each time Adunni saw it, it felt like it was looking back at her. One afternoon, when her grandmother had gone to the market, Adunni entered the room just to look, just to see, and just to understand. Her heart was beating fast, but her hand moved anyway, and she touched it. Nothing happened, at least not immediately. She smiled. That night, she couldn't sleep, not because of noise, but because of silence. The kind of silence that listens. Adunni woke up, not because of a sound, but because she was already sitting up. And she didn't remember sitting up. Her eyes were wide open, but she was not the one looking. Then she felt it. Her hands moving slowly, touching her own face like someone else was learning a face. She tried to stop. Her body didn't listen. Her mouth opened and a voice came out, but it wasn't eyes.
You shouldn't have touched me.
Adunni started crying, but her tears felt wrong because even while she was crying, her face was still smiling. The next morning, everything looked normal. She woke up, she stretched herself, she yawned. She got up to continue her day. Everything looked normal until she stepped outside and saw a man walking with his head turned completely backward. She blinked and it was normal again. She laughed it off. I must still be sleeping, she said jokingly, until it happened again. At the market, she saw a woman standing still with 4 legs. Not shadow, not imagination. 4 legs. People walked past her like nothing was wrong. Like Adunni was the only one saying it. But the woman, she looked at her and smiled. She waved like she was one of them. Days passed and it got worse. Faces shifted. Smiles stretched too wide. Some people didn't have shadows at all. And at night, she heard footsteps inside her room. It became so worse that she stopped eating. Her body grew thin. Her eyes sank deeper. Her grandmother knew, but she said nothing. She just watched, like someone who had seen this before. One night, Adunni couldn't take it anymore. She ran into her grandmother's room, crying, shaking, begging. "What did I touch?" she asked. The old woman looked at her and sighed. She said, "It is not what you touched. It is what touched you back." That night, Adunni saw it clearly, sitting in the corner of her room. Not big, not loud, just watching, reading, waiting. They tried to cleanse her. Prayers, ritual, everything. And she became normal again, at least on the surface. But something had already changed, because even when she got better, she still saw them. The twisted ones, the ones with too many legs, the ones that didn't belong. And sometimes they look back at her, like they knew her, like they knew she could see them. If you were told not to touch something, maybe it wasn't a warning, maybe it was protection. Curiosity, they say, killed the cat, but satisfaction didn't bring Adunni back. Satisfaction landed her into trouble. Did you enjoy this story? If you do, please like, subscribe, and also comment for more stories like this. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.